Okay, we can cook with two different methods. We can use fire, or we can use coals. Now, fire's fine. If it works for you, fantastic. But if you notice that your flame, and it's just too hot, you're burning things. If you notice your pots and your pans turning black, if you notice yourself when you reach into the fire, you're burning the hairs on your arm, you might want to consider cooking with coals. That's what I do. You can cook with flames, it's fine. But if you want more control, if you're cooking eggs, that's a super sensitive food to cook, and it's super easy to burn. So I prefer cooking on coals, much the same as a Weber grill. Okay, now we're going to set up our cooking area. And the first thing we need to do with our cooking area is build a wind block. Now you can make your wind block out of split wood, as I have, or you can make it out of rocks. If you use rocks, don't use river rocks. That means rocks that are in the water, that are soaked, waterlogged, because if you heat those rocks up hot enough, they could explode, okay? I've set my wind block up here on two sides. Now, depending on where the wind is at, you may want to use three sides. Do another one of these on this other end, okay? Right here, I've got an angle wind. It's fine. I use two sides. I'm getting away with that. I do have props on the back side. These are a little unstable in the center here, so I put a couple of split pieces back here to just make sure this wall stays up. We're going to put risers on the end, okay, to support our grill. And depending on what kind of grill you use, now it doesn't matter. I've built this apparatus here with these two long rods, and they've got a little tie rod in here. It's a little fancy apparatus I take with me. This here, I've made it long, okay, because I'm going to use two different zones. I'm going to use a hot to boil water, and then I'm going to use a low or a medium to cook, okay? And I've got these risers on the end about 5-6 inches in the air, okay? Now, you want to make sure that your grill, whatever you're using, is going to be level. Way to do that is to take a pan, take a frying pan, whatever, and you put a marble in the middle of it. And you can tell which end needs to come up or down. You might want to shim underneath with these little piece of wood or something. You can get it leveled out. Or you can just eye it up and it really doesn't matter. Depends if you want your eggs to slide to one side of the pan or not, I guess. So that's pretty much it. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to place our coals underneath our grill. Okay, so one of the advantages of doing this separate cooking area is people can still warm themselves over the fire while you're cooking with coal. You know, if you're going to do a flame, it doesn't really matter. But I use these gloves because it's pretty easy to get burnt in this. I got a little safety or eye protection here. But what we're going to do, we're going to disrupt this fire a little bit. We're going to go in, reach in, and get some coals. Okay, some nice hot coals. Okay, now that we've got our piles of coals here, I've got a low, medium sort of pile, or that's what I'm going to use this pile for. And this is going to be hot, okay? So I've got a lot of coals in here. I'm going to boil some water. So we've got that. I'm going to move these around with this pair of tongs. Again, I'm still using my gloves. It's hot. So I'm going to lower these up here, or place them, I mean. So I'll stick that there. Now these are little camper's grills that I use. Very handy. In fact, you know, I only need one for this, so that's all I use. I've got a little pot of water there I'm going to boil. And I'm going to scoop some of this coals up here because I want that nice and hot. So I'm going to put our pan up here and heat that pan up first, and I'm going to tell you something else. We buy pans for camping. We'll take the handles off and we'll make these removable handles. Basically, it's spring steel, and we bend them in such a way, put some hooks on them so they stay in. Squeeze them down there, and that way we can pack them a little more compactly in our pack, okay? Same thing with the handles here. We take the rivets out, we replace them with screws and wing nuts, so we don't have that sticking up. So I'm gonna let that pan heat up. In fact, I'm gonna put a few more coals over here, just because I wanna make sure that we've got enough heat to do the job. Now, I'm going to show you something just for the video. And this is a thermal temperature gun. And basically, I'm going to show you how this works. I'm going to point it at this pan. Okay? That pan right now is 85 degrees. Now, it'll heat up when it gets started. The fire itself underneath is 598.2 degrees Fahrenheit. Let's go to this one. That's 748 degrees. And of course the pan up on top is 110. So as those heat up, the pans heat up, that temperature will read higher. But I just wanted to show you that to give you an idea of temperature difference. This could actually be a little hotter. I wish it were. I may have to go get some more coals. And the beauty about this is that you can go over and get some more coals. You know, you got your fire still burning, people are staying warm. And you're like, I need to borrow some coals. Come on over, take a scoop, throw it in there, heat them up. So, and we may have to do that. But I'm going to check my pan here. That might need a few more coals. So I'm going to take and move a couple here that are on the outside. And I'm going to move them toward my pile here. And when this pan starts heating up, you know, I'll be able to feel it on the top. It's not there yet. But the beautiful thing about this is my pots aren't going to be, the pans won't have all the soot all over them when we're done. And that's the nice thing about this. Now I could have lowered this a little bit, you know, this whole system. It's whatever works for you. You know, if you're only using a little pile or whatever, then you can lower it down. If you're using a lot of coals, you know, you'll be able to tell. It's a lot of trial and error with this until you get it down. Once you get it, you're like, okay, I'll remember that for next time. And that's really all it is. Okay, we're starting to heat up. Take the lid off here and inside of the pan. Yep, we're getting warm enough to cook an egg. So, now I want to explain something else while these pans are heating up. This is called a utensil roll, okay? And really what it does is just houses all your cooking utensils. We got a cheese grater, we've got a spaghetti spoon, we've got a pair of tongs like you use for bacon or something. I've got a scissors for cutting the plastic on my vacuum sealed bags. So that's kind of handy. You can do it with a knife, but I have a scissors. Got a spatula, and I've got a ladle, and of course some serving spoons here. So that's what's in a utensil roll. And if you're cooking, you've got a tarp nearby. I put some paracord on here so I can tie it around the thing, or I can take it. I've got some snaps that I built into this thing, and I can move it over. I can snap it around a line like this. You see the snaps that go together. So that's just something I did. So okay, I think our pans are heating up, and next we'll be putting in our food. All right, our pan is heated up now. It feels hot. I'll tell you what I'm going to do, just for reference sake. I'm going to put the heat gun, or the temperature on it, thermometer on it. There's 331. So we want it between 300 and 350. That's ideal for most cooking, you know, including eggs. So we've got the pan heated up. We heat the pan first, then we put the oil in. You do it the other way around, you're going to burn the oil, it's going to smoke. Not that we don't have enough smoke from the fire as it is, but why add to it, right? Do that, a little oil. That's good. Let that heat up. And it really doesn't take very long to heat that up. And I'm going to use a glove with this because the handle is hot. Okay. Got that going on. Okay, let's put our eggs in. All around again. Now see, you didn't hear any major sizzling. I mean, you didn't hear the whole psh, you know, like when you put bacon in. That's because we're at the right temperature. We've got a controlled temp going on. That's the sound you want to hear. Okay. All right, our eggs look done here. You can see they're not burnt. They are stuck together, but they're not burnt. Because we cooked them over medium heat. We got the right, you can see there's no burning going on. We got the right temperature because we used coals with controlled heat instead of a flame. And I'm gonna show you something when I get done here plating these. Which my crew is going to feast on these, I'm sure. Okay, I'm going to show you something. Nothing. There's no black. Now, if I were doing that over a fire, there'd be black all over my gloves. Okay, let's check our tea here too, by the way. And I'm going to grab my cup here. Okay, now we're going to make some toast. And we're going to use the same pile of coals that we use for cooking eggs. That's about where you want to be with toast. And I've seen more people screw up toast than you can imagine. So we're going to stick it right on top of the, just like that. Okay, I'm gonna make a pizza now. I've started with a pre-made pizza crust. I put some tomato sauce on there, some pizza sauce, and then I put mozzarella cheese. I shredded my own mozzarella cheese here, and then I put a couple of pepperoni on there. And I'm gonna show you that you can do this in a frying pan. And we're putting this over a little higher heat now because I wanna make this like an oven would be, and you're gonna cook a pizza at about 425 right in there. So I want a little hotter, a little more heat there with this. Now, when the cheese starts to melt, we're ready. And I'll just keep an eye on that. And note that I've got a glass lid. You can do it with a metal lid, but it's harder because you can't see what's going on. That's why I prefer a glass lid. That's just me. Okay? We'll wait a few minutes till this melts, and we'll be ready to eat. Okay, let's check our pizza, see how we're doing. Hey, that looks ready. Let's slice this thing. Let's see what we got.